Hey everybody, it's Dave Juno, the Meniere's Disease Warrior. How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good for Tuesday. So a lot of times we don't talk about the beginning of our journey. Okay, we don't really see people talking about that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it because people want advice and this and that. But sometimes it's nice to know somebody's beginning and how you can fit into that. And the reason why I'm doing that is one, I probably should update it because the one I did was probably 2 or 3 years old. And two, this morning, I was on TikTok, and there was a new woman doing a Meniere's video, and she was talking about the beginning of her Meniere's disease, and it was like very similar to mine. Even the dates were kind of similar. So I was like, wow, you know what? It is time to do an update. It is time to talk about this, and maybe it can help somebody else. So let's go back in time. Get back in the time machine. Woo. 2014, Christmas Eve. I go to sing in the choir like I did for the last 12 years. Okay? Sing in the choir. So it's 4 o'clock Mass. Not feeling funny, but not dizziness or vertigo, just weird. I feel weird. And the choir director told me that I was, and this woman was like another mother to me after my mother passed away. So she was like, David, honey, you're really rushing. Is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? I don't know. I didn't realize I was doing that. She's like, oh, no, it's okay. Don't worry. Just want to make sure you're okay. And this woman really treated me like I was her own kid. She even introduced me to her kids as one of hers, which is kind of weird. So I get home, and it's 5 o'clock, 5:15. I got to be back at 7 to sing. So I sit down on the couch and turn on a college football game. I'm like, man, something ain't right. I don't feel good. I feel like the room is like moving. I'm like, oh. So I went to get up, and fell. I get up again. I can't even make it into the living room, and I'm sweating. You name it, I'm sweating. Like, it's just draining off of me. It's like I took a shower. And, of course, I'm thinking, in the beginning, maybe my blood sugar's off, low. And I start eating, I try to figure I'd eat something. And that was wrong because it was going as fast as soon as it was going down, it was coming out. and projectile. So, one of my sister-in-laws was a nurse. And I kept saying I wanted to go to the hospital. I literally thought I was dying. And she kept saying, oh, no, it's a virus. Oh, no, it's a virus. Oh, no, it's a virus. You'll be fine. It's a virus. So finally I get to bed, and I fell asleep. I don't know how the hell I fell asleep, but I fell asleep. I woke up about 6 hours later, and I was like, holy crap. What the hell happened? So I got up. I wasn't feeling okay. I wasn't feeling great, but I was hungry, so I ate something. And then I went back to bed. And the next day I really felt crappy, but I just figured it was from the episode. So I'm like, okay. Then the day after that I felt fine. I felt normal. So what happened was I felt fine. It was like didn't come right back, didn't nothing. About a week later I had to drive my son down to Fort Lee, Virginia, who was in the Army for his AIT training. He wanted me to drive him instead of having the Army fly him down. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Father-son trip. No big deal. So I get down there, drove down, we were fine. I get there, I'm fine. First day, I'm fine. Second day, it hits again. The vertigo just... And I'm in a hotel room, I'm by myself. I don't know what's going on. I'm throwing up all over the place, blah, 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 blah. Because I spent a couple of days down there because I wanted to tour Petersburg and all this stuff. So the next day I woke up, I was okay. So I went and toured Petersburg. I did this, I did that. The next day I woke up, I was fine. I did the same thing for a couple hours. And then instead of feeling sick, I got back to the hotel and started all over again. I'm like, what the hell? I almost checked myself into a hospital, but then I was like, whatever. Everybody said it was a virus. It was just a virus still coming out. So the next day I woke up and I had to drive home. And I felt fine. I was fine all the way home. About a week after that, when I got home, it started again. So we called the doctor. The doctor said they were busy. If you could go to urgent care, go to urgent care. So I went to urgent care, and they gave me Flonase. I'm like, what the hell? I go, okay, whatever. So about a couple of weeks later, we had a big snowstorm. I'm shoveling. I literally fell in the snow. I got vertigo. I fell in the snow. My wife says, that's it. We're calling the doctor. Drags me to the doctor. Doctor thinks it's BPPV, does the Epley maneuver. Didn't really do much. Prescribed me meclizine. Told me if it happens to take the meclizine, but referred me, this is how smart he was, referred me to an ENT. Now I'm going to get on the story of the ENTs. Okay, so he referred me to an ENT. Okay, fine. So I went and saw the ENT. He said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. Don't worry about it. If it happens again, call or, take the meclizine. Fine. So I called my doctor because it kept happening. I called him again. He referred me to another ENT. And before I could walk in, the guy looked at my chart and said I was crazy. And I went, bye. I walked right out. And I said to the receptionist, I'm not paying this bill. Don't send it to me. I said, he just called me crazy. If you think I'm paying that, you're fucking crazy. And I left. They didn't send me a bill either. But somehow, after that, it seemed to go away. So it was like the middle of 2015, maybe towards the end. It seemed to go away. Like, okay, maybe my sister-in-law was right. It's a virus. So 2017 comes, and it's in July, and it hits. And it hits hard. It was 4 days of nonstop vertigo, and vomiting, all that stuff. And on the second day, and I kept popping meclizine, and on the second day my wife said, you're going to the doctors. And we went to the doctors, and he tried the Epley, all this stuff. He's like, no, you're going to an ENT, and you are not going back to work until we figure out what the hell's wrong with you. Now, this is a 2-year span, almost a 2-year span. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Gotta get it fixed. So he sends me to a doctor. And Dr. Sadari, who, good guy, didn't really know much about Meniere's then, but I'll get into that. He'll come back up in a little bit. He didn't know much about Meniere's, but he knew how to diagnose it. So I thought, but that's okay. So I see him. He gives me a prescription with Klonopin and orders a hearing test, an MRI. Well, he said, yeah, you're primarily deaf in the left ear. The MRI, he's like, there's no tumor, so I'm saying it's Meniere's disease. There's a bottle of Klonopin. If you need more, call me. I'll refill it. Other than that, have a nice life. I was like, what? So, and the vertigo was just coming. Boom, 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 boom. It just wasn't giving up at that point, which I knew this meant this thing was in like a hyperdrive. At that point, once I knew what Meniere's was. And so I asked him to see another doctor if he didn't mind. He said, oh, no, go see another doctor. That's okay. So I saw Dr. Richard Gasick, Sr. Junior his son has a clinic in Alabama. This is the father. And he believed that Meniere's is a virus. And he didn't do the MRI because he saw my MRI. So we tried antiviral. And then we tried steroids. Prednisone, which helped, not a lot. Steroid shot, which helped, not a lot. The antivirals didn't help at all. 5 gentamicin shots, barely helped. And he's like, hey, you're one of the oddball cases. And I said, well, that's normal for me. He was a great guy. He's a fun guy to talk to, and I learned a lot from him. So he sent me to a Dr. Remenschneider. Now, Dr. Remenschneider, great doctor. He's like, I want to do a labyrintectomy on you. You have no hearing in this ear, so it's not a big deal. And I said, well, can I get a cochlear while you're doing that? And he goes, well, your hearing's 90% in your right ear, so you really don't need it. And I'm like, well, okay. He goes, but I want to do the tests on you. And I said, well, I had an MRI. And he goes, oh, there's more than an MRI. And I went, what? And so I learned even more. And he did the CAT scan, the temporal bones. He did a VNG test, the balance test, which no other doctor ever did, and another hearing test. And he said, well, the hearing test, your hearing's still about 90% here, but this is gone. But so if you do the labyrinthectomy, which is going to leave you deaf anyways, you won't have to worry about it. You haven't heard in that ear in years. So I'm like, okay. So we did the labyrinthectomy. And it felt good. You got to do it. He said, you won't be able to go back to work. He goes, because you your balance is going to be very, very off. Even with the vestibular therapy, it's not going to be 100%, and what you did for work is not conducive to you going back. So I went, okay, that's fine. I'm 51 and life's grand. So we did that, and it worked. It helped a lot. I mean, I was still getting little attacks and some dizziness, off balance and tinnitus, but the tinnitus is a different story. So he left the practice. And he told me he was, and he asked him who you want me to see, and you got any suggestions? And he said, oh, Dr. Chari. We went to fellowship together at Mass Meniere. We worked under Dr. McKenna, who was an ENT I knew from years ago. So he taught us everything we know. So, yeah, see Dr. Chari. She's great. She's wonderful. Okay. And this guy I trusted. He could have told me to see, the worst doctor in the world, and I probably would have went to them. So I saw Dr. Chari, awesome doctor. She wants to do the cochlear, and I'm getting reevaluated for that. In the meantime, I got the Bicross, or the Cross hearing aids, which are awesome. And she had diagnosed me with it in my right ear because the hearing now started going down. So I bilateral. Okay, even though this is really not functioning the way a normal ear is, she diagnosed me as bilateral. And so I'm like, okay, this she knows what she's doing. We're doing all the scans all over again, the VNG for the cochlear and all that stuff because she wants it, and that's fine. I want her to have it. I want her to do what she needs to do. So, where does that leave us now? So now we get to today. I got the hearing aids, which, yes, it does help the tinnitus a lot. I can hear on my left. I hear everything. But here's the funny part. I had to go to St. Vincent's Hospital in Worcester for a different issue. Not anything to do with Meniere's. And I don't care to discuss what it was. What it is it's still an issue that I have to go back for. And Dr. Sadari's office right across from where I was at. And so I was coming out, and I saw Dr. Sadari. I just looked at him. I said, hi, doctor, how you doing? He goes, oh, wait, I know you. And I said, you know me? And he goes, yeah, you're Dave Juno. You're the Meniere's disease warrior. And I saw you in 2017. And I said, yeah. I said, yeah, I remember you handed me a bottle of Klonopin, told me to have a nice life. He goes, oh, man, that was the worst thing I ever did for you. I'm so sorry. And he did. He apologized for that. He remembered the fiasco we had with the MRI because I'm claustrophobic. I'm severely claustrophobic. They have to knock me out. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry I ever did that to you. And I'm like, hey, it's water under the bridge. I'm not mad at you. As a matter of fact, between you, Dr. Emmett Schneider, and Dr. Chari, that's what I tell people to see. He goes, really, even me? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, that's good because you caused me to do a lot of research on Meniere's and really look into it. And your channel's great. Keep doing what you're doing, and the stick's coming down the line. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And hey, I said, you know what? I said, in all honesty, you may not have done what Dr. Emmett Schneider or Dr. Chari has been doing. I said, but you did put me on the right road. And that I can thank you for. Because if it wasn't for you, I don't think I'd be on the right road. All right? So, thank you. And, that was it. And he left. He had to go somewhere. I had to get home and get my grandson off the school bus. So that was the end of that conversation. But the thing is that, now that is my journey. Now, it wasn't all, rainbows and unicorns the whole time. Okay, because, I do have somewhat of a positive attitude, and I smile, and I'm this and that. It wasn't all, like I said, rainbows and unicorns. Okay? There was a lot of, messed up stuff, especially in 2018. But we're not going to talk about that. The thing is that that's my journey. This is where I'm at today. Okay? Where I'm actually helping people, making awareness of this disease, Meniere's disease. And it's all something we really can do. Okay? You don't have to have a channel or a support group or write a book to make awareness. You can become a Vita ambassador. You can do things for Meniere's Resource Inc. They're another one that's great. There are so many things that you can do instead of sitting around saying, poor me, I hate dealing with this. This is awful, blah, 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 blah. Get involved. Get involved. Join the fight. Make awareness. Make people not feel alone. And that's the purpose of this video. So you don't feel alone. Because in the beginning of that journey, until 2017, 2018, I was alone. Even, I was alone. So, that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And everybody, have a great night. I will talk to you all soon. Take care.